Okay, hello everyone. Are you all KSWs? Yes. Yeah. No, so my name is Anna. My name is Anna Matthew. I work as an HR generalist for Nautic Senior Center. I have been working there. I very recently joined, so it's almost 1 year. So Nautic Senior Center, we do have PSWs who's working in our community, our assisted living and ADP program. Okay, so today my topic is what employers are looking for when hiring PSWs. I think I hope this presentation is beneficial for you all. So technically, when we hire a PSW, what we look at in general as for PSWs. Now, I was able to collect some data from our partners, so I put it all together. So it is more reliable data. Okay. So this is our agenda today. So there will be a brief introduction, why recruitment is challenging for PSWs, key traits employers look for, what makes a candidate stand out, real world challenges employers see, training and skills required, PSW registry, and some Q&A questions that you can ask. So highlight current challenges and trends in the PSW workforce. So we are going to look into that. We're going to explore some key qualities, skills, and expectations that employers have when they hire a PSW, provide insights to help job seekers better prepare for the roles in the community. Now, why is recruitment challenging in PSW? Now, one of the complaints that I always get is like we don't get paid well, the pay is not enough. But one of the reasons is that most of the community services, we are all non for profit. For non for profit, we get the funding. So it is based on the funding, the compensation is decided. So underfunding and rising demand. So we on one side, the funding is going down. However, the demand for PSWs is going high on a daily basis. Now, according to Statistic Canada, after 2030, seniors could represent 21 to 23% of the population. So, PSW demand is only rising. It will not come down. The demand is increasing for the elderly services, health services, retirement housing, any related support. Rapidly growing wait list. So now even we have wait list of our clients who want to be part of the program who requires PSW services. But due to the funding and staffing issues, sometimes it just goes up and down. So depending on how the hiring happens, that is how the waiting list gets lesser day by day, right? With limited staffing and resources, many individuals in need of care placed on a long waiting list. This delays the support, increases burden in the family, pushes PSWs to manage higher caseload when clients are admitted. So when there is higher demand, PSWs get more clients, and then sometimes you wouldn't have the bandwidth to take care of as many clients that you really want to. Um, High reliance on unpaid caregivers and volunteers. So, due to staff shortages, caregivers become the family members. Now, what happens to the family members? They are not trained as the PSWs, right? After a point, they also get burnout. So that is also a rising issue that is happening because you are not able to give the same amount of care as a PSW, or sometimes some how you communicate, how you handle the clients with, because you get training, like how to twist them, turn them, bending down. So you get training for that. Most of the caregivers, like my family, when I am taking care of my grandmother, I don't have training, but I learn. I learn by reading and like nurses showing that this is how you're supposed to do. That is how we go about it. Now, again, burnout is one of the high high challenges for both caregivers and PSW. So, if it is not handled properly in the coming years, it will be a very challenging situation for both employers and whoever is receiving the care. Now, what are the key traits that we look for as an employer? Now, we will be going through. Now, I call them as the heartbeat of every PSW. Now, these qualities are inherent. It is a skill. It is a quality that every PSW must have, and these are one of the main qualities that we look for as well. So we'll go with one by one. Compassion and empathy, right? Um, PSWs just don't provide care, they connect, becoming the heartbeat of our entire system. So, you work with the vulnerable population, you provide that support with compassion and empathy, right? It is trying to understand. Empathy is trying to understand what the person is going through and try to support them as much as possible, right? Reliability and punctuality. Now, embrace the power of showing up. Your reliability paints your reputation and strengthens your relationship. So always keep that in mind. How much? So as you all know, you have clients to go to. So if you are not on time, if you are not reliable, if you're calling and saying last minute saying that no, I can make it, or I'm going to be 2 hours late, it's going to be very, very difficult. So we are looking for someone who is reliable and who is punctual, because you might have an 8:30 appointment with one client. After that, you might have another 9:30 or 10:30 appointment after. So you need to catch up to it, right? Adaptability. Now, the reason I have included adaptability here is responding to changing needs. Now, all your clients, they keep on changing, right? Like like you never know, like one care need, medication, health issues, it keeps on changing. So if you're not adaptable, it's going to be difficult. It's going to put strain not just on the client, but also for you. So always keep yourself open. Like, don't feel like, oh, if I go to this client, this is what I want. That predominantly, when you put this set, oh, I'm not going to change, this is what I'm going to provide. Anything after that is going to make you uncomfortable. So make sure, just be open and always keep in back of your mind that the care plan might change, schedule might change, right? So always keep that in back of your mind. There is also you work in diverse environment, cultural sensitivity, the communication, being calm under a lot of pressure. Honestly, PSWs do a great job. I have so much respect for the kind of work you do. It is not just physically challenging, it is also emotionally, it takes a toll on you, because you build this rapport with this a person or a member that you go. Most of our PSWs, all our clients treat them as a family member, right? Because you build that rapport, and it's not easy. When a person anything happens or things change, that it might be very you might take it into your heart. So that emotional intelligence is one other thing that you should be very aware of, and something that you need to build. And it will not just be professionally helpful, it will also be personally helpful for you, to something for you to look into. Strong interpersonal and communication skills. Yes, you should be it is advisable for you to be a people's person. Obviously, you are working with other humans. There is more human interaction one on one. So it is advisable for you to be a people's person. Otherwise, it's going to be challenging again. Then you challenging again. Yeah. Um, Communication skills. Now you are going to have a lot of clients, the different backgrounds, different. Sometimes we won't even understand what I'm talking, probably because English is my second language. So most of us, or it would be a second language, and most of the clients wouldn't even know English. So how do you communicate with them? How do you understand? So that is very important, and how patient you are. Sometimes when that's a language barrier, I'm coming to her, and if she's coming to me and I don't understand English, it's going to take some time. A 5 minute conversation can go up to what, 10, 15 minutes just with hand signals and saying that, no, 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 don't do this, you sit here. So it's going to take some time. So being patient and finding that right communication with the client is very, very important. Time management and attention to detail. Now, this is again very, very important. As a personal support worker, strong time management skill is very essential. You will be having multiple responsibilities, right? Like personal hygiene, meal preparation, medication reminders. So, if you are not organized and if you don't manage your time well, it is going to add to your stress. So, to manage your stress and to manage your time, it is best to have a time management skill and attention to detail. Now, any change in the client, right? Any changes to your client from the regular in behavior or anything that you see, you could even have health and safety issues, right? So if you are not strongly being attended, it could hurt the client or it could hurt you. It's not just about the client, it's also about you. Your health, your well-being is equally important. um, Problem solving and independence. Now, most of our PSWs is except for the ones who is working at the adult day program, rest of all our PSWs, they all work independently. So it is important that you are able to work by yourself, and you are able to do problem solving. If there's an issue that arises, you know that, hey, this is an issue that can be resolved. Maybe you can resolve it yourself. Maybe you cannot resolve it with anybody else. You need that support from your manager, right? So these are the key skills that we look. And in the interview questions, uh, all the questions do cover. So it can be a behavioral or a situational question during the interview, testing how reliable you are, how compassionate and empathetic you are, or any of this. So it will be a blend of all these questions. What makes a candidate stand out? Now, it's pretty straightforward. I'm experienced with seniors or similar population. So it can be, having this experience is absolutely important for our facility because we work with senior care. So this is extremely important. Clear indication of flexibility and resilience. Now, when we hire a PSW, this is one thing that is very challenging for us, is that when we hire someone, let's say I'm hiring a person and I'm saying, sorry, can I have your Latifa? That's city's Latifa. So I'm hiring Latifa. Okay, Latifa gave me her schedule saying that, Anna, I'm available on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays from 8:30 a.m. to 1 p.m. Okay, so schedule works well with us, and I like, oh, Latifa, amazing interview, went well, and I'm gonna go ahead with my hire. Now, Latifa comes in. I have my orientation. So, first orientation would be with me. And then Latifa says, and I'm so sorry, but I just cannot do the schedule as I promised during the interview. Now, what happens as an employer? It messes up everything because your schedule is already gone up. We have already spoken to the client. We have already told them, hey, Latifa is going to come. She's going to be a new PSW. She's going to be there. Now, what happens? We have to call the client. We have to let everyone know the schedule doesn't work, right? Or probably we'll have to let you know that, if sorry, we cannot accommodate you because your schedule changed. Your hire was based on the schedule that you provided. Okay, so when just be sure when you're reaching out to an employer, be sure about your schedule so that it doesn't. And things happen, life happens, schedules change, but at least during the initial 6 months, make sure the schedule stays the same, and then little bit accommodation can be made by the employers depending on how the schedule is. Okay, But please don't tell them the schedule doesn't work once you're hired, like immediately after. That actually puts us in a spot because lot of resources is involved in doing the scheduling and making sure the clients are given appropriate care. Um, Prior documentation and reporting experience. Now, why this is important is yes, as you will be going to clients, you will be doing maybe not a lot as much as I do, but you will be doing documentation. Okay, an incident happens or anything changes. What happened? What kind of care did you provided to the person? For us, we have phones that we provide to PSWs. They enter the notes there, they enter their schedule there. So being a bit tech savvy is crucial. I understand most of us, we are coming into that digital world. And one thing I see with our PSWs is they struggle a little bit with technology. But we do give training, and we are very patient as employers, and we do give them training. But having be adaptable, that again coming back to the point, being adaptable to these new changes is very crucial as a PSW. And as the world is progressing, no more paper, everything is going to be basically technology. So you cannot sit and say, no, I'm not going to learn. I'm not going to do it. Maybe Anna can hire somebody else, but I'm not going to do it. But you can do that. If you need to grow in your career, if you need to pursue further in your life, you need to be technologically, you need to have that knowledge. And I would say start learning. If you don't know, we all can learn, right? We all humans, we learn new things every day. So the best way is to remove that blockage in your head. No, I am not I don't like technology. I am not going to do that. So remove that blockage and see forward, move forward. Don't sit back and be where you are. Move forward with life, because that's how life is, right? We are not living like the 80s now. We are moved on, right? So that's how we move on with the demands. Access to transportation and knowledge of navigation. I am terrible at navigation. I'm so bad at it. However, as a PSW, you need to know directions. Why? Because you, as when you go work in community and when you're doing assisted living, you need to know where you're going, because employers don't take you. It's your time. So what we do is we provide travel tokens, and then you kind of navigate through it. Now, a challenge is not for people who have already been, know the area, pretty much familiar with Canada and how the navigation work. I have seen this challenge predominantly in newcomers, people who are pretty new to Canada, where the subways can be very confusing. There is north, there is south, there is east and west. Where do I go? So knowing a little bit of about the area that you work in is very, very important. So if you're applying for a job, let's say you're applying for Nokia Sender, we have a catchment area. So to be familiar with that catchment area is it's very beneficial for as a PSW. And access to transportation. So if you don't have a car, no, where can you find, where is the nearest TTC? How can I get there? How like you don't want to uh, get a cab. That is, if you get a cab, probably we lose like 1 hour of our pay, right? So it is the most easiest way, more cost friendly way to reach the place. And as I said, we do give tokens, travel tokens. I'm not sure about other. My understanding, most of them do. Now, these are some of the real world challenges. I just put it into four because from all the employers that I spoke with, these are some of the four main points they were keep on repeating. One is limited flexibility and experience with vulnerable population. So if you are new, now if you're a recent graduate, you must be thinking, Anna, how am I gonna get experience if nobody is even hiring me? So what I would say is placements, internships, volunteering. So that would support you to a large extent to get that experience with the vulnerable population. And limited flexibility. And see, our PSWs are predominantly part timers, so they work in other organizations, and so having that flexibility sometimes is a challenge for the PSW. So when you are going or applying for a job, just make sure how your schedule looks like. uh, Misalignment between expectation and realities of community work. um, as I said, PSW is emotionally and physically, it takes a lot. And sometimes when PSWs get into that real world, they say that, oh, Anna, this is too much work. I'm not able to do it. So understanding the expectations, like what you study, and when you go into for example, I study HR, but when I came to my real job, there were a lot of changes because it's real life experience. It's not straightforward. It's not one place just say that, oh, that's it. No, there are different branches. You will come across different challenges that are not even taught to you. Then how do you manage it? So then how do you manage it? Right? So every client is a new learning. Every situation is a new learn, and probably even the employers might we do provide saving, but certain situations you might have even forgotten, right? So having that understanding, yes, it is a challenging role, but is this something that I'm passionate about? Is this something that I can work with long term? Always have that behind behind your head. Inconsistent availability, we already spoke about it. PSW, unfortunately, is not a 9 to 5 job, especially if you're looking into long term care or community assisted living setting. It's not a very straightforward. So sometimes you have to work nights, sometimes you have to work afternoons, not in the mornings. So being aware of it. Physical emotional demands of the role. Now I already spoke about it, so be aware. What I've seen is most of our PSWs are super hardworking, but in this busy schedule they forget to take care of themselves. And if you don't prioritize yourself over the clients, eventually you will get tired of it. Eventually issues will happen. So make sure that you take care of your health, both physical and your mental health. Then you can deliver better. Decide training and skills. We already spoke about the navigation and documentation part. Importance of health and safety and mental health preparedness. Having that emotional intelligence. Now, this is something you can actually Google and see what the term is and how you can be emotionally intelligent, not taking things into heart and understanding why the situation is in a certain way. So, the more aware you are about yourself, the better you can provide your services. Ongoing training is critical. Now, some of them, see, I graduated probably 6 years ago in HR, but if I don't keep myself updated, I will not know the laws. I will not know the changing ESA laws, what is happening in Ontario, what are the new bills that are being passed. So I need to be updated. So same way, it is same for every single career. Just because you graduated, you cannot stick to it for a long time and say that, oh, I'm just going to go by this one particular thing what I've been taught. Always keep in mind that world is always evolving, information changes. How you take care could change. Take care of your clients could change. What you used to do wouldn't be applicable at this point. So always keep yourself updated. Probably sign up to a newsletter or a reliable source on what the changes are that is coming for PSWs. Ability to respond to changing client care plans. We already touched upon it. So these are the desired training and skills that the employers are looking
You
for.
said for the second point, what should we do for ourselves?
Sorry?
For the second one.
Oh, the importance of health and safety. Yeah. So health. So you all, as a PSW, do get training for health and safety, right? So health and safety is technically making sure the client is safe and you are safe. Okay, making sure both of you are doing the service in a safe manner and you are abiding by the policies and procedures, that is standards that is set by what you learned as a PSW. Okay, and mental health preparedness is nothing but you see different kind of clients from some are physically frail, some are mentally frail, or some are both. So make sure understanding that it takes a lot, you exert a lot physically and mentally to take care of these clients. Now, PSW registry, I thought this would be really beneficial for all the PSWs. Now, Health and Supported Care Providers Oversight Authority. Now, if you go to this link, you can register yourself. As of now, this is just voluntary. You don't have to. It's not mandatory. But my I believe that eventually this will become a mandatory registry where you will be actually required to uh, register yourself as a PSW peer. Right now, it is voluntary and it is expected to be mandatory in the near future. So, this came into be in December 2024. So, it's pretty recent, but eventually, this will be mandated by the government because PSW is slowly becoming going to be a fully regulated profession, which everybody will benefit if it is going to be fully regulated by the government. Yeah. You have this website on your brochure? No, this is just on my this one. So if you can take a picture, um, all you have to do is search for this particular Health and Supportive Care Providers Oversight Authority, and there's the link where you can actually register. The other place I look, so when I hire a PSW, two places I look for certificate is one is here at the registry, and the second one is NACC, that is the National Association of Career Colleges. It's a graduate certification verification. So you can either, if you're graduated from one of the colleges that is accredited by NECC, then if you go to their website and if I search for your first name and last name, I will get your details. Now, some final takeaways. So, what employers are looking for in a PSW? Previous experience with seniors or vulnerable population, along with strong communication skill and problem solving skill, a clear understanding of the realities and challenges of PSW, both physical and emotional demand, compassion, reliability, and interpersonal skills, flexibility and adaptability are essential. Documentation, reporting, and navigation tools, commitment to ongoing learning, and mental health preparedness to support both caregiver and the client, demonstrate professionalism, punctuality, and a respectful attitude. So, with that, we are open for questions.